Here we go. What is up, my AKA Patters? Cheers to all of you. Got some morning coffee right here. Yeah. Well, 2023 is already becoming the year of being behind. That's what she said. But to further that, we're behind on our annual March of Robots sketchbook. I'm just jumping right into it. We're working on Transformers. We're working on Bayformers. The reason, because why not? I've been wanting to do something regarding the Michael Bay movies for a long time, and I fully support these movies. I really do. I think these movies get a really weird bad rap. I'm not. I'm really not concerned over any type of like backlash or opinions people might have about my views of these movies, but I think they're awesome. I think they're a ton of fun. I think they're perfect escapism. I think they deal with male fantasies in a very interesting, particular way. Like all good things to highlight. Couple girl fantasies too, to be honest. But yeah, we're drawing the Nokia bot, and getting like and part of this too. Part of my draw for this is straight up the challenge. These designs are so freaking challenging. I mean, it's impressive to how challenging they are to draw. And we're using the power of the sketchbook because, right, we put the sketch and sketchbook here to kind of build. I need to be able to build what the style for the sketchbook is, like things like that to figure out. Like how we're using the materials, what materials, all of it. So this guy has like an underbite also. But yeah, we're just having fun. We're just really hanging out. Come join me. Come, let's talk everything Transformers and Michael Bay. You know what too? And I thought he had horns, and he the son of a gun doesn't. But he's got a bazooka, which is fun and ridiculous. See, like there's a side of me too that never liked the design of this bazooka because it's too earthy. You know what? I do like this paper mate. This is a random marker that I had in one of my mugs. But I will be bringing out the brush pen for sure, the Crow Crow. Yeah, and everything we're doing with this sketchbook is going to be about the movies. We're going to try and go in chronological order with the movies as much as we can. Let's get some of that chat going. And this is a warm up. Mostly today, I will be working on Cosmocat. I gotta get Cosmocat going. So, but once we get traction with Cosmocat, I would like to come back stream wise. But before then, I need to do some of the podcast episodes, the film buff. We got things to do for sure. But yeah, and I kind of wanted some of this to be like limited color, limited line work. Well, kind of like not limited line work, but I wanted this to be like monochromatic line work. There we go. That's what I was looking for. But drawing these formers is like the one of the most challenging things I could think of, which is why the idea just stuck with me. When like once it landed in me, like I couldn't back away from it. But the idea is to make things just look rough and loose and fast. And the more I draw them, the more true that's going to become. I gotta go on like a real run of drawing them. And along the way, we do the Peter exaggerations, the AKA pad erations. And using this entire sketchbook as an opportunity to, really kind of explore. Explore the property, but we're exploring ourselves at the same time. So one of the tricks that I'm already uncovering is like a lot of negative space. There's a lot of space between the former parts, we'll call it. And that's kind of cool. Yeah, so I would like to use some of this sketchbook too as an opportunity to get better with drawing vehicles. But the idea is not to draw every single day, but to draw multiple every single day. And I kind of been missing having a sketchbook at the, to lounge around in. we are still back and forth on the technique. All right. The idea is to like shade this in a particular way, just in a way I'm not like accustomed to, just so I get again like more practice with particular technique or discipline. All right, so we need a scratch pad. We don't have one. Let's see. Give me 1 second here, everyone. Why don't we have? Here we go. Here it is. We got our scratch pad right here. The other big question is, how are we going to Yo, total excellence. What is up, dude? Sorry, we are just trying to find. We're trying to find something to shade some of this with. What's going on? Good morning, bud. Cheers to you. Good morning. We got some Five Below markers here. Cheers, cheers, cheers. How we doing? Are you on your way into the office, as we like to call it? So, I think throughout the years, I've become a little bit more of a eraser. I used to never erase. I used to hate it. I just feel like you lose some spontaneity and some like roughness when you erase. But we're going to use the markers, and you also do that. We're going to use the markers too to add a little bit more movement, a little bit more of the design, because he does have these like claw things that come off from the back. But we're going to go back and forth. We're going to do some things. Total excellence. How's everything going with the flock? I think the flock needs an alternate cover or a back cover with the Total Excellence, aka pad connection. What do you think? What do you think? All right, so what do we got here? I don't even know some of these. Like, I do want to go monochromatic. I really do. I just like the idea of taking the color out of, well, they're almost colorless to begin with, right? Like the BAYFORMERS. And I get that there's been like movement from movie to movie on more color. But like I kind of just want it to be rough. Here we go. What we got? What we got here? Oh, did you? No, dude. Here's the thing. A part of this is, and I was, dude. I'm not joking. I was just talking to my girlfriend about this. It's like, there's been times in my life where I kind of know people trusted me enough to throw me into the fire. And, like kind of just looking back, I will say every single time I'm better for it. Every single time I'm a little bit grateful for people to kind of trust me on that level. And that's really what it's more about. It's just more about trust. I trust you, dude. I know you're in my head on the right level, but I also want to be surprised. Like you have to trust the people you work with, like period. Uh just even when it comes down to them doing enough of their job so that you don't have to come back and redo it on the weekends, like stuff like that. And that doesn't mean people don't make mistakes. Of course they do. Of course they're going to make mistakes. But I trust you, dude. I trust that we will get there, and then we're just going to move forward. We're going to move forward on a couple of things. I'm behind on some of the AKA pad projects, like more trading cards, more comics, digital prints. But we have a digital partner for hats, t-shirts, everything. And that's going to be all available through akapad.com. And then along the way, along all of that, I've been targeting more, like, I just want to say, like, more stuff through ads. So we've been experimenting with ads on a very high level. So ads with Twitter, ads with Instagram, like so, and then ads for the website. So, like, these are the things we got coming, and it's all going to be like quick and permanent. Uh, I'm considering doing all of my future crowdfunding only through the website. So it's a lot of stuff, but it's a lot of good. It really is a lot of good stuff. Oh, so wait, so the flock is local to you? Is that how you? What's his name? Scott? Is that how you know Scott? Like, I thought the flock was a, kind of like a Twitter pickup for you. We'll call it. Here we go. This is it's kind of close to what I was envisioning in Peter's gray matter. Geez, I may have to hit Five Below again today and pick up more of these markers. These two colors work so well together. Holy crap! But I kind of wanted some of that Metal Gear Solid look, like, for these. And I just feel like I always touch on the Metal Gear Solid brushwork, and I never kind of committed to it. So maybe this will be some of that. Nice trading cards, love it though. Yeah, and I'm gonna hold off a little bit till I do any type of flip through for this sketchbook, because it's going to chronologically move through the movie, and I just, it's like I can't wait for that. I just think it's going to be so freaking cool. Here we go. Look at that. That's kind of cool. I think we're there with that. Yeah, and I think people will be able to figure out what we're doing, like, without the flip through. But yeah, it's fun to kind of have revelations and pops with some of your content. Just being very erratic here with some of these spots of white. Yeah, and total excellence too. We, like, I kind of, part of where, just so you understand where some of my head is. There's like a round of publishers that have, um, reach out to me like pretty much within the last calendar year, and I held off a little bit on doing stuff with them, and for a couple different reasons, but mostly because I really don't have a way to fully complete some of the work that I think like I would want to do quick enough. And like you kind of know me, like I'm very careful on some of that stuff. Like for and I don't want to leave uh like a bad impression if I'm not able to complete something. So I just don't say, like if the situation works, sure. But sorry, we're just trying to do some splatter here. Just a bunch of guys on a Saturday trying to do some splatter. I love the Michael Bay movies. I really do. I have Transformers 1 on, like, right here. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, like I think some of the Flock 2 needs style wise, I feel like I don't know if you feel the same way, but I just feel like the Flock is um like it doesn't know if it wants to be like irreverent superhero or straight up superhero, kind of like drawn proper proportions, mostly realistic, but with a comedic edge, or if it should be more like more comedic, less superhero in the art style. Like should it be kind of, of course, not doing Image Comics, but kind of, or Image Comics from the 90s, but maybe more like Mike Waringo, right? That's his name, Mike Waringo. Like his style, like especially when he was doing Fantastic Four. That's like that's what I think of the Flock. All right, so let's just jump here. We got next up. We have same wiki unfun, unfun. we're, we're drawing human characters. Yeah, here we go. But we're drawing him with the Strokes T-shirt, which is kind of fun from this scene here. Yeah, and we're doing things here now too. We're just like jumping into a lot of the ideas here. Like we're not doing too much when it comes to drawing it perfect and getting the exact style. We're going to let a lot of the material do the talking for us. Materials, paper, and markers. And yes, I will be drawing his parents. His parents will have a full page or two. Especially the mother in the second movie. The mother in the second movie is the absolute best. When she's like on edibles and she's out of her mind at his school. Like, like kind of acting more like a college kid than he is. Really, really good stuff. Really good stuff. Here we go. Yeah, like we're kind of just again just staying loose, having a good time. And like also to use some of the medium to kind of find like new ways to show off some of these characters. Like just shapes, shadows, moods that we haven't seen before. You know, like people kind of forget that with Wiki, um, even if you look at his character in that third movie, like he's lost a lot of his life when the Transformers introduce themselves into it. You know, and that's to be considered. Like when it comes to his motivations, his attitude, all of it. You know, I dare I say he's a tragic character. Yeah, and this is what we're going for here. Like like kind of big loose ideas. Now, I kind of forget does is it like a short sleeve or a long sleeve when it comes to some of the fashion? I'm pretty sure it's a short sleeve. Here we go. And then I just have to pencil some of the. See, I would be fine if the strokes is just not entirely legible. But then again, like you would see it and you would kind of just recall, like, oh yeah, like he did have that, like a shirt like that on. Great logo, by the way, for I think this was Room on Fire when this movie came out. Great album, great logo. I don't think the logo is self-titled though. Yeah, and then we'll ink this with the impression of what we're looking at. See, like kind of like just making the O visible. And also, big video drop today. We are finalizing the final death blow, as I'm calling it, for the April O'Neil argument. Like, absolute final death blow for that. We combed the AKA pad library and we found some answers. Again, probably stuff that there is a blog post that I dug up that already detailed all of this. So I'm going to include that in the link of the video to be 1,000% like truthful and fair with what's guiding me a little bit. But yeah, I always feel like when it comes to that stuff, there's so many commentators that I just feel like ignore things. Call it that it upsets me a little. The funny thing here is like we're kind of simulating reflection because the shirt simulates reflection. But there he is, our star, our protagonist. I'm just already happy with the idea that you and me, the AKA Pad Army, and myself, but we've portrayed the character in a way I have not seen. And he's a character of lost innocence. Like I said, it's sad. It's sad when you really look into where he was in that first movie compared to where everything is by the end of the third. All right, and then title, Megan Fox. I wasn't quite. So this was. Should we do it? This was Michael Bay. Let's just draw Michael Bay. Fuck it. Give me a moment. We're going to have like a stay tuned graphic soon. By the way, there's just again so many things we have cooking. Give me a few. I'll be right back. Good day. Don't forget to say goodbye to that house. Okay, I'm going to jump back. That's fine. Cheers, cheers. We got. I've been getting these squirt those like Mio things, and they're. I was just going through it with my house guest, but they're 60 milligrams of caffeine per squirt, and we just realized that. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I'm back too, but yeah. Yeah, with only flat colors. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like what I would, but you know what too? Like I never read, have you read The Rocketeer? Like I have a stack of Rocketeer here. And I bought them kind of when I got back into rebuilding the comic collection. And I just been waiting for an opportunity to delve into it because I just want to like experience it as like a stack. And Dave Stevens seems to have like the Dave Stevens style seems to be like very towards the flock. And the only thing I would say is I get the Bruce Timm love. I like there's nothing wrong with it. But I just feel like should we lean towards like a Dave Stevens with a Bruce? Like can we mix the two? Because I just feel like the Bruce Timm stuff is right. I mean, um, that's played out at this point. But I think a lot of people are drawn to it because they think it they feel like it. We're going to draw Michael Bay, by the way. I just think people believe it's a quicker style, and I don't know. I don't know. But now I'm dude. Now you got me thinking. Like, should I just fucking do it? Just to see if I can do it. Like, can I like how long does it take to do a Bruce Timm style? We're just trying to. Michael Bay deserves to smirk just out of like what he has done with the Victoria's Secret brand alone. Like, am I right? Yeah, and this is really kind of more or less like a love letter to his style. Yeah, Rocketeer. Yeah, with the jetpack. Yeah, jetpack colors. But I just feel like it would be kind of like there's a power of leaning into styles. So, for example, like you know how you and I we were like a while ago, we kind of did the spawn idea. We kind of we wanted to do our own spawn, and like let's say we did that. Like let's say we come up with a whole like story, and we're kind of emulating this spawn, but we're also doing things our way. Like like how much of a disappointment would it be to the audience if they read about that, they're like, oh, like these guys have a Spawn comic, but they see the artwork and or like the cover. Like imagine that the cover leans into McFarlane, but then the interiors leans into something else. And like there's just those are disappointing things that people don't forget. And I do feel like when it comes to something like, and like keep in mind I'm just talking here, but when it comes to like the Flock, like what are we leaning into style wise? Like what are we emulating? Because I just feel like the colors and the jetpack of the Flock, people will just see Dave Stevens. Like, and I think there's a Dave Stevens documentary. Maybe I'll get that today. Oh, and there's the blender. So my one trouble spot when I'm kind of doing any type of head is effing hairlines. Like, holy crap. My hairlines are horrible. See, like that, like this. But it's really more. It's just more of an interesting point of like how much of the styles are really affecting how the audience receives the book or the work. Like like a good example would be like the X-Men, right? Like if you kind of grew up with the Jim Lee stuff, like the Jim Lee era too was kind of doubled with the John Byrne era, and if that was really what you grew up with, imagine the work it would take Marvel to kind of re-educate the audience on different styles. Like it would just take a lifetime because people just associate X-Men with Jim Lee. So you need to find, like, you have to find an answer, and I feel like they found that middle ground with Joe Mad. So I just feel like that's where all this stuff kind of bleeds from. What do you think, Michael Bay here? Yeah, like we're drawing his like hair getting blown too, and we'll kind of do like a little bit of a title card here. Bingo bango. All right, not too bad for Michael Bay. I kind of want to just draw the Flock in a full Bruce Timm style now. All right. And so part of this too was me also experimenting a little bit more with that number 4 brush that we have. I guess we get to experiment now with some hair. We're going to put some splatter down first. I wonder what exactly, I guess the more we talk about the Flock, like the more questions I have. I'm curious now on the, like, what is it about the Rocketeer that kind of got Scott going, right? Like that's like why the Rocketeer? That's curious. Like what is it about the Rocketeer that kind of got him going enough to do the Flock? So let's see here. We got like a very beat up brush, so we're just going to try I mean, we're going into this blind at this point. Here we go. Rocking and rolling. So we're still doing January, by the way. I just got it. Like I have this cool Punisher video. Like, Total Excellence. Are you familiar with how they turn the Punisher black? Like, I don't know if that's something you were partially aware of or fully aware of. But anyway, so the I kind of was going to do that video for Black History Month, and literally kind of, I guess, like, sometimes I stockpile material, and I have like too much, but I still want to do it. But I was kind of building out some of my Punisher issues to do the video properly, because I kind of wanted to document some of the craziness that's happened with the Punisher. And I guess now with all the new like Disney Plus revelations with that character, why not? Like the Marvel experimenting with the Punisher is endless. Like, people just absolutely love that. Like, they love talking about the Punisher kind of going away. So I was going to do it's like 2 issues, but it's like this whole jigsaw story, and it leads into the really, like, the Punisher teaming up with Luke Cage, becoming a brother. But we got that video coming, and then the other big one I was holding off on is I kind of wanted to do this the Stan Lee Backstreet Boys comic, mostly because it's so effing good, it's so much fun, and it's a little bit of a definition on where comics are now. Like, and kind of like the contention would be that this is better. Like, the Backstreet Boys and Stan Lee made a better comic than what's being made like right now. That's the thesis. Could you imagine if Michael Bay directed a Flock movie? Like, who would be a good director for Flock? That's the next question. And you know what? Total Excellence. Next time you're kind of in the chat hanging out, maybe you can just like message me a link for the Flock, because we might as well have a link scrolling on the bottom. If we're going to talk about it or if I'm going to talk about it the entire time. Oh yeah, know about the Punisher. Yeah, dude, like, it's I don't want to say like it's wild, but dude, it's so interesting that's like, it wasn't like just like like status quo type change. Like, like, it wasn't like promoted at all, or like it wasn't like this big issue. the way how things are now. Like now, like every time they do something new with a character, it's like a major thing. Like so, it wasn't like that at the time. And I think Mike Barron wrote it, right? Mike, uh, I think he's on EVS's stuff. I think he's in my DMs actually. Jeez. Anyway, he might be. I think he reached. I'm pretty sure he reached out to me. Uh, but anyway, but it was just like kind of like something they did. It made one or two good covers, and then it ends. It corrects itself, and it moves on. And like, how fascinating is that? Like, that's the stuff I love. Like, really, that's the stuff I'm in love with. Well, people, when I woke up today, I did not anticipate uh, doing drawing Michael Bay live. I didn't see this one coming. I thought I would just stick to Transformers. Yeah, that's what the people want. That's where the money is. People want their formers. But next time we will we'll have the flock available for some type of quick promotion. Because some of these we've been spiking more and more now with the aftermarket of some of these streams. So, and I did kind of notice that the longer you stream, the kind of like you get there's more to come with that. Like you have to do a prolonged stream, and that could just be the way it catches up to you. There he is, Michael Effin Bay, guy that brought us the greatest of all the Transformer interpretations. And I'm not saying that ironically or facetiously. I mean that. I think what they could have done moving forward was really like there was so much set up there. It kind of at that point by the time they were done with four, you kind of want to say that they were right there for like a full cinematic universe. Like they were kind of there before Marvel, I think. I just think if the streaming stuff was prevalent, we would have got like a some level of a Transformers show on like Paramount Plus or whatever. Like and for some reason, and part like the other reason why I'm kind of drawn to the Michael like just the Transformers movie universe is again it's like just the idea that so many people are against it. It doesn't compute. All right, we need to do a little bit of an eyeball highlight here. Like we're going to do this, and then we're going to just do like a bang. I'm going to do like another one here to really bring it together. And there he is, young Michael Bay, rocking and rolling, doing things we can only dream of. Oh, thanks, dude. Thank you. Thank you. Looks like something, right? That's always, that's always, I will say it till I'm blue in the face. Drawing is stressful. Drawing is stress. It's always satisfying when you do get a little bit of that like dopamine hit when you don't screw it up. And any artist that kind of tells you that they're not afraid of screwing it up, I don't know. Like I kind of want to say they're lying. I get it, like uh, portray portray confidence as much you can, as much as you can. I get the shtick, but it's stressful, especially when you're live. Especially when you are live. So I'd like to juxtapose things. And what we're got, I got too much. I kind of wanted to do one side loose and aggressive, right? Like loose, aggressive, flowy, and then I wanted kind of the title play here uh to be like exact and streamlined. And as long as like I don't think we have any, so we're using loose brush, and then we're going to go into very strict lines. And yeah, that's the fun of it. We're running these lines right to, like, all the line work here is going to just merge. We're using a felt tip, so we don't have to worry about dry time and other nonsense like that so much. But yeah. And again, too, a part of all of this, like by all of it, I mean like making things, right? Like that's really what we're doing. We're just making stuff. But a part of all of it is just like knowing what your beats are, knowing what your materials can do, uh, being confident in what, like, not, you can't predict the absolute final results because again, like you don't know until you actually produce something. Like you have to go through the process to know if it worked or not. And I'm just talking about like on this level. But knowing your materials, it's the absolute best thing you can do. It's the best way to spend your time. And the more you know your materials, and the same goes like if you're digital, yeah, you know your memory, know your processor, know how a digital pen works, like know how a touchscreen works. It does help you. It really does. It helps you, like it's almost like a path to like confidence. Like it gives you a little bit more confidence, just a little. Here we go. And then I guess like here, what the idea was, see, was to kind of do like this, like Michael, and then just do like the Bay, like real big, like that. Yeah, and then do like speed lines here. Just again, like just make it look totally like as techno as possible. So that turned out decent. A little happy with that. No need for whiteout either, which is always a bonus. And then we have my credits. We Cybertron here. Well, I guess we're doing a fucking flip through. Contents. So the contents was just going to list the movies with the guy from the Leonard Nimoy from the third movie. Forget his robot name. And then we had same with Wiki's father, Megatron. So like we go through the movie here. Same with Wiki in school. The glasses. So yeah, and then we have Blackout here flying over the desert, and then we got the attack. So yeah, I don't know. I do feel like this is. I feel like this is not enough. All right, yeah, let's kind of just do that. Sorry, I'm just looking up right now, bud. What are we doing? Like, I feel, I feel like should we just jump to Turtle Soup Tuesday? Because I was really thinking I was only going to get done the Nukia bot. But we got same here, and like I think this needs a little bit more shade. A little bit more shading. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I'll jump on that real quick, bud. Just give me 1 second here. There you go. Just a little bit more on his chest here. Yeah, I feel like I should we just jump on Bebop and Rocksteady for Turtle because I got a bunch of I spent $50 on gray colored pencils on Thursday, and I have to test them. So we can test them on Cerebus, which I sketched out already, or we can test them on Rocksteady. But let's get some of this going. I will get that flock message on the Twitter. Thank you for that. Is that a setting? Like, I don't mind if people can post links in the chat. By the way, I keep that. Here we go. Yeah, it is convenient now when you have a direct message. How Twitter just copy. I do like how. Oh, Global Comics. Oh, what is this? Oh, what is Global? Okay. Total Excellence. You're going to have to. Oh, you know what though? How do I hold up here? Do we have C drop? Yeah. Why is this /C? Why is that link /C? That's funny. Geez, I knew. I guess like I didn't realize there was issue 4. I love the issue. I love the cover for issue 3 though. Like holy, like I'm just talking. We gotta find a way to put this up or promote this, right? We're just gonna say get the flock. Right, get the flock. Control V. Add banner. There we go. I do like. Isn't StreamYard awesome though? I just love how it just incorporates things. So this is interesting. So I guess this is. I wonder, like, what are the numbers for Global Comics? And I wonder if it has a reader. Oh, it's kind of cool. It creates a RSS feed. See, I like you can see the themes. You can kind of see how it's tagged. the time era, yeah, maybe. But I like the kids groups or the audience art style. And I don't really. Um, oh, graphic violence, really? Does this really have graphic and similar? I like the similar. I'm sorry, people. I'm just going through this, and I should be sharing my screen. Kind of cool. Kind of cool. Loving it. Let's get back to it. Yeah, I do want to, like, I'm always drawn to what I feel like is the most challenging, and I'm really drawn into, pun intended there, I guess, the black hole, a blackout flying over the desert. I really, because it's, I gotta draw the shadow, like, like it's got to be, like, it really has to be perfect to nail what I want to nail. But uh, good start though. Good. I think we got like a good fun start too. So part of the idea too is I wanted to keep this flap here because it's metallic, but then like cut out the other stuff, or to add something here, and then like add something on the back, like spray paint the back black maybe. I don't know, but then uh I think a little bit what drew me to this cover. It was like more or less the cover. The sketchbook was like $6. I love that price point, and the page amount seemed intimidating, but it was really the cover here because it's plastic, like, right. And I guess like I wanted to maybe cut this out, so we have the Allspark. So again, creating like a die cut cover. I don't know. Uh, I think that would be awesome though. And then the other idea was to do like a gatefold cover. That gatefold or wraparound cover. All right, I think it's time to hit some Turtle Soup Thursday. Let's do some of that. Let's just hang out. But that's great if Flock is at issue 4 though. I view that as a win for Scott to kind of stick to it. But eventually, like, you have to kind of hit the right. Like, I'm just always curious. Like, and when it comes to even one of my books, like I run into walls with some of the creators sometimes because uh it's time versus reward. Like, what's the time investment? What are we doing with the time? Uh, should we be kind of be barking up other trees and doing other things? I'm going to organize just a little bit. Like, if a book's not taken off, and it's going to happen when you talk indie comics, but eventually you're going to run out of uh you're just going to run out of it, and you have to make that call. Like, what are we doing with this effing book? And so many creators are just, they're kind of really hell-bent on sticking to things. And unless like you really kind of like, I want to say, unless you really do have like an artist that you're convinced, we got some ink here, like if you're convinced art wise that your guy is the next thing, and the only thing people need to do is see his work, and if they see his work, it will sell your book. If it's visual like that, then spend the money on advertising. Spend all of your money on advertising. Do two or three issues. Like, do 2 issues actually. But then if the scenario is like more with the writing, uh, yeah, it's hard to advertise without the artwork. It really is. But I'm just talking with today's digital landscape. Cheers, cheers. But give me 1 second. I'll complete that thought. We need to get, where are we at here? Let's just get the stack of these that we're working on. Here's the stack. Yesterday was Baxter Stockman. Sketched out Moto for Biker Mice from Mars. The Plutarchian from Biker Mice from Mars. Cerebus, Turtles crossover. I forget this guy's name, but he's from the as they revamped the Turtle show. And then we got Bebop and Rocksteady. So let's just get into Bebop and Rocksteady. And then if I feel like it, we'll break out the Sharpie to do a little bit more. But the point I'm getting at is like, if you're a writer, right? And let's say you wrote something that's there. Like you know in your heart of hearts, this is it's elevated, it's a cut above everything any of us has ever seen. And if the artwork is so and so, and you have to be honest with that. You have to be honest if the artwork is like blasé. What do you do? Like you have to pour everything you have into advertising, like all of it. That's it. Everything all your money goes into advertising. Every single one of these networks, every single one of them, and I'm talking about like even IG included, works through advertising. I think what happens is a lot of times we follow creators that kind of have a little bit of the magic dust. They might have a like a built-in audience that is outside of, like, their audience might come from another source. So like, what do you do? Like, how do you compete against that? And we think when we see their campaigns pop that it's a part of the campaign's the reason why it's popping, and this and that. And it again, not taking away the merit that some of this work's not good. Some of it is, but it's not going to happen for you. It's not going to happen in that fashion. It's just not. So what do? Like, you have to advertise. And these are the concepts that I think when it comes to, like, if you're working with like a publisher, like, your publisher should be a guru for that. Sorry, we're just starting here with Green Snot. We're just starting here with Green Snot. People with the blue wrench can share links in the chat. I'm not even sure what that means. How do I? Yeah, no, of course, buddy. Here we go. We want bright green snot here. Here we go. So these have become more and more sophisticated blending wise. Oh, Philly Sirens. Here we go. Look, Rocksteady having a lot of green snot shooting out of his nose on brown paper is like the best thing, because he's going to be green. It's going to be green with the gray. Like, the green complements the gray and the green like perfectly. But yeah, I mean, it should always be the role of the publisher. Like publishers, I get it. Like you have to be part project manager, so manage the book, get the book done, work with whoever you can on all the means of production. Like a publisher should be versed on every single one of those levels, and if they're not much of a publisher. So don't waste your time. And then number two is the publisher should be maybe producing less books or waiting until he produces books to get uh, the right book. Meaning we're in the rhythm, the book looks the best, we're in the best like issue, because realistically you're working one issue at a time. You're not really doing story arcs. But then like you have something that's there there enough to get as much advertising dollars behind it as possible. I don't realize why more crowdfunding campaigns don't mention advertising dollars to roll in more advertising. Because if the idea is not to get the book done, the idea is not even to complete the book. The idea is to create as much awareness for the book as humanly possible, because that's almost like what we need overall, like just as a audience. Like uh we need big books, we need big properties, we need things to be big and good, and that's it. And we also need to be like a little bit too, we need to be aware of it. The awareness too is the again, like that's such a whole. Sorry, I'm just lining up what I might need for bone and teeth. I keep finding I spent $50 on gray colored pencils, and I keep finding gray colored pencils. Isn't it funny too? None of these, but that's $50 worth of gray colored pencils, by the way. And I never wanted ever to. I never wanted to do Bebop and Rocksteady for this series. I just feel like you have to. So there was an Art of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book that, for the longest time, was uh, like a $20 book, and I never bought it because it just the just like what it like the it just wasn't enough production artwork. It was, or it wasn't more like the working things through artwork, and it just seemed like they kind of just the it just wasn't, I don't know, it just didn't look like it had enough. I'll say that. And I kind of got into following some of the people from that book on like Twitter, and those guys, like they post more than what that book had. So like that's where I was like you know what, like I just don't need the book. I just follow these guys. But then I randomly looked up that, I don't know why, because I've been on this like Turtles deep dive, but I looked up that book just out of like curiosity, and it's like $70 on Amazon, which is like okay, that's fair for like something that's out of print. But it's like five. There's only one on eBay, and it's like $500. It's just like jeez, like you know, like the market is just so crazy sometimes. So with this current run of these, I'm going to be up to 50 for anyone out there keeping track. 50 of them, which is good, right? I mean, that's healthy. And we're just going to work on this until we're not, until we're kind of just strung out, aren't it? And then it's going to be Cosmo Cat. Going to go work out, come back, do Cosmo Cat. This yellow is really nice. Just hits the paper like perfectly. But I am curious about the global comics at this point. Yeah, Cosmo, dude, I'm so behind on Cosmo Cat, but I also wanted to, like, my idea at this point though is to do like a walkthrough video of like, and here it is. So there was just like nothing but the story that was written by Caesar. He's like this Turkish guy, but the story, like the story's there, like meaning things happen in the story, things happen in a certain order, but to kind of make that into something, I'll say, right? I think I'm being nice when I say that. Not that I'm trying to be mean, because he's a great dude, good writer, like all of it, always has ideas, everything you want for a collaborator. Okay, the worst thing a writer can do is not to have ideas ready for when you speak to him. If a writer doesn't have ideas ready to go when you speak to him, run away. Run away. And if a writer's too locked into their ideas, run away. It's not good as an artist. It's not. It's a very weak position. It's a weak practice, and it will only produce work that sucks. Like that's the reality of that. But anyway, yeah, I just felt like the need to. Uh, I had to make the story flow a certain way, and I couldn't define it. And that's a lot of what the my problems were with getting some of the work done. Is I had to kind of like almost like exercise the demons and discover uh what are we doing with the story? What's the hook? What's the payoff? What's the and I know a lot of writers they envision they envision things a certain way and they're kind of locked in because they envisioned it like it's like the only thing that they have access to, we'll say it, like they only have access to this series of ideas and they're kind of committed to it. But the writer's job, yeah, and I guess part of this too is like redefining what the writer's job is, right? But it's like the writer's job, you're there to help make the comic. So what makes a better comic? Like it's going to be a story that even if it's simple has impact, that has flow, that has uh, ideas put into it. Like the sometimes the best ideas are seen; they're not written. So it's like as an artist, you have to, or like as the illustrative side of that, like you got to come in and control that. Like you're the stopgap, and it's complicated. It's complicated stuff. It's not easily defined. A little bit complicated, and it's a little bit loose. Okay, nice bright white eyeball here. You can almost argue this is like the image here, like already. Like this is the image. yeah, so I wanted to kind of like document a little bit of like what my thought process was going into CosmoCat versus what was delivered, and then what had to get like worked out while juggling pretty much like a giant avalanche in my life with like all the stuff that was happening, like work, the move, multiple COVID sessions, all of it. And the COVID wasn't bad to me. Oh, and the stomach flu. The stomach flu. That's where we lost one half of January from the stomach flu. Here we go. Yeah, Cosmo Cat is he's a golden age public domain character, and this is for like another upcoming book. And essentially it's like him versus like the big bad wolf. So here's the big bad wolf. So I spent extra time designing the big bad wolf to I guess almost be like Two-Face, but I needed the big bad wolf to have a visual impact that you would never expect to have from a quote unquote wolf character. But they, and essentially the hook is when the three little pigs that this guy's after are his daughters, and they're part wolf. So like that's the hook, and that's what I mean. Cesar is that good. He really gets ideas out there. Like, and I love working with him. And but some of it is just like, like what are the ideas? Like what are they? What's important, and what does the reader want to like? What does the reader want to look at? What does the reader want to do? Uh, when you're dealing with comics, that needs to be at the forefront of everything you do. And it's something I hate to kind of keep saying it or and barking up that tree, but we don't see it a lot today. We don't see it enough today. And I'm sometimes I just feel like uh, when it comes to like the process, um, geez, like like I don't know who talks about the processes even like as much as me. I don't know. And all these guys that you too, Total Excellence, like we follow a lot of the same people. We monitor a lot of the same people. We interact with a lot of the same people. But where is it? Like where like everybody just wants the next Cyberfrog. Like they're chasing Cyberfrog the same way that they're chasing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Uh, when people thought they could make a quick black and white comic and it be the next Turtles. Which we document pretty heavily on my channel. But it's not that. Like it's the process. You have to like have intent. You have to know like kind of like what the audience like you kind of have to like imagine how the audience will react to a level of your work. So if you're like a publisher, you have to like geez, like you have to predict it. You have to be like people are going to respond this way with this moment, with this book, with this character right here. And if they're not like confident on that, it's I don't know, like it's just tough. Like I don't know what you say to that. Like I just feel like it's better to make as many comics as you can, as quickly as you can, in like the absolute best quality possible. Okay. And then you put in advertising. Like you advertise endlessly. And then you'll have analytics to gauge the interest. And you'll know more about ad networks and split testing and things like that. Here we go. So I just want to put a little bit more purple like undertone in areas. And kind of just mostly on the shaded areas or the areas where I might put line work in. And we're skipping line work and we're going right into a darker undertone. So that's where when I hit that like middle level gray, we'll call it, like it's going to blend and come through. But it's also going to help with the roundness. It's going to make things look a little bit more round than they actually are. Remember, all of this stuff, it's an optical illusion. That's what you're creating. I'm not drawing bebop here or rocksteady. I'm creating an optical illusion. I'm tricking the human eyeball to believe something is here that's not. It's more neuroscience than anything at this point. But I just really wish there would be more publishers and other creators out there that really talked about like what their intentions are with books rather than just trying endlessly to sell books. Like I really don't see it. I don't see how that helps someone behind you, someone like coming up. Here we go. Sometimes you wait, like you have to wait until, like you have to work with something until it works back with you. Like until it kind of talks to you. I think it's time for some of those grays. Yeah, basically. Yeah, exactly, Ithki. Yeah, keep in mind, Eric July had a audience of hundreds of thousands, right? Like he was on The Blaze. People forget that he was on The Blaze with Steven Crowder. Like he not like on Steven Crowder, but on the same network. Sorry, I'm just now it's like now you get nervous. It's like which one do we pick? We're gonna go with right here the Faber Castle. So these are about $4 a piece. They're heavier. The lead feels heavier, but these are the most expensive. So let's start there. But yeah, like there's and that doesn't mean it's not earned. Like no, of course it's freaking earned. Like Eric July created an audience. He had an audience, and what he figured out was that his audience would buy a comic book from him. That's what. But yeah, people are chasing that. I think for the absolute wrong reasons. Like it's so goofy, and then what we have. Who's that? Like Nate Inks or Nat Inks? That one book with the dude with the spiky hair and he's kind of like Lobo looking. There's a kind of looks a little bit like Simon Bisley maybe has like drew him or designed him or they're emulating that. But what like that book? It's like Ink Slayer, I think, is the account. But I see that character and it's like the artwork needs a pump. Like you gotta pump that stock with that artwork. Period. Like the character idea, what the design is, it's there. Like it's perfect. It's a good idea. No one cares about the story. You don't need to promote the story. But then it's like, geez, why isn't someone like, like Bill Tucci or EBS or any of these other, or Graham Nolan, step in, hook that guy up with a cover, hook him up with a cover, hook him up with something, because that dude kind of making that character pop is better for everything. Is better for everything. There's no denying it. And I get, like, we all know if those talks happen, or those, you know, some of that stuff's not there, but I just don't see it. Like, I just don't understand why it's like, oh, here's a guy clearly trying to do a book. Let me help him. I just don't like that general notion. I do not see. I just don't see it. Maybe I'm crazy. Now we're dealing with the way darker gray. This is, what percentage is this? Well, it's dark sable. This one is awesome, by the way. I can tell just within like a couple seconds. Or Grok Comics. Like, dude, like that dude virtually has his own DC wholesome universe. Like DC back during the wholesome days, the era that Jeff Johns was fighting against editorial for years to get back to. And and lost. Basically lost, but then again, his path is interesting when it comes to the DC EU. It really, because everything he touched kind of did seem to stink to a certain level. Like, I'm not trying to be mean there, but like, just get Grok Comics on your freaking show. Like, promote it, read the comics, talk about them. But what they'll do is they'll kind of do what I'll do. They'll see kind of what's happening, what's popping, what the conversations are, and then you have to chime in. You have to have a opinion to go along with their other opinion. And I don't know, like, and to be honest and clear, I don't like that my YouTube stuff pretty much evolved into hot takes. Like, I don't like that. I never liked hot takes. I don't think they're I think they make you look wrong, more like in the aggregate. You look more incorrect with hot takes. You are more incorrect with hot takes. You don't even look incorrect. You just are incorrect. But at least it got me into a rhythm of doing enough content and mixing things up, which I'm grateful for, because it did pop. Like, I think we're at 1,100 now. Like, that's amazing. And again, too, it's the audience. You gotta, quote unquote, give the people what they want. You just gotta do it. We're picking a light gray here, Prismacolor 10%. So we're definitely going to blast this with a little bit more Sharpie. But it is funny though how much Eric July is getting chased, and I don't get it. Yeah, and total excellence too. Like to further your observation, it's again like you don't realize where some of these creators come from. You know, like if you didn't know anything, if you were just kind of like a light comic book follower, like if you just like kind of touch on comics every once in a while, and you saw like the Comics Gate and the EBS stuff, you would just assume that he kind of was a guy that worked for DC, and now like here he is. He's a former DC guy, but now like here he is, and that's untrue because he spent a lot of time on Facebook and even MySpace doing social media stuff, kind of being in his audience's face. So when he transitioned to YouTube, like it didn't pop. Like he was getting followers just on that. But then what happened was like like this movement kind of like blossomed around him, and he had enough of an audience to get more traction with. And that's a little bit of that formula. And again too, like we're not knocking anything. We're not knocking like what happened. We're happy. Like we're honoring it in a way. I'll say we're honoring it in a way. Yeah, but things are not always simple. They're not always black and white. It pays to be able to have technical analysis applied to what you're seeing and how you're seeing things when it comes to social media. And then have fun. Like, that's the goal. Have a good fucking time. And get better. Like, always get better. All right. I mean, we're a little happy with this, right? Let's get rid of it. Yeah. Yeah, I think Grok is like so interesting. I can talk about like the ideas and the theories of how like he can kind of do more, make it pop. But Grok at this point just needs to sink all of his money into advertising and stop publishing. Like he's got enough of a catalog where he can just reprint new editions, spend the money on new covers, uh, improve some of the interiors, like all of it. Like he can completely audit and edit his own books the way that DC would. Like for example, like let's say DC wants to bring back the Vigilante series and they want to publish it, and they will have to audit that 50 comic book stack. Or if Marvel wanted to do something with the Jack Kirby Eternals, right? And it's like, but they would kind of audit their own publishing for different reasons, and they would find ways to add to it and make more of a product out of it. We'll call it. And I just think that's what Grok needs to do. Like audit all those books, even reorganize them, add pages to where you need them when it comes to being clear with the story, and experiment, but advertise. Here we go. It really comes to life with the white, doesn't it? Here we go. It's almost like his face is so freaking big. It just doesn't stay on camera too well. Here we go. It's like you get to a point where it's like all systems are go. Like you're there when it comes to the like application. Yeah, because I was like, I'm not even joking. I was just talking to a stripper, musician, performer the other day. We were in each other's DMs, and like just talking, like not doing anything funky, but talking. And one of the first questions I asked her, because I kind of noticed like she's been growing in followers, is I'm like, hey, I'm like, what are you doing advertising wise? Like, are you like putting money into that? And she's like, some. And I'm like, it's like you really should advertise like your music videos and again like sync everything into them, because it's a time investment, and people are under the fantasy that things can go viral. And what we're not told a lot of the times is how well things go viral, or things go viral because they have advertising behind them. So a lot of like the guru advice is true, but you have to add advertising to it. If you add advertising to it, it's solid. Yeah, and I feel like like Mr. Beast and even like Logan Paul and Jake Paul, when they talk about this stuff, they're dead on. Even like Gary Vee, like they're like dead on. They're correct, but they're not telling you about the advertising, which is funny, because it will change. Like you will grow with advertising. Like there's no doubt. Here we go. Give me 1 second, Total Excellence. I see. Sometimes I ghost out the messages. Yeah, the highlights are just that they're like the theatrics, right? Like they're just the. Like I kind of go into like I do what I would call like literal highlights. Like we're literally highlighting an area as if literally the light's hitting it. But then I'll do these like toy uh like plastic. Like I'll try and make things look a little like extra shiny in like some areas, as if they're coated with like a varnish, or coated with like some type of glossy acrylic. And I think that's the difference, because it blends. It blends like two separate ideas. See, so this is where like some of like so kind of just for some lighting insight. So it's like here, kind of like the teeth, and here, the brow. Okay. So what I'm envisioning is it's definitely like a full backlight. Like there's a light in back of Rocksteady here, but then there's also like reflective light maybe coming in from like this direction. So it gets like almost like the way you think about it is like you draw it in white, then you back off, and then you break up the light. So again, like everything's a story. Like when you work on this stuff, you're telling yourself stories in your head. See, like there. Like I just wanted like boom, like a pop. Then here, like again, like that secondary light is going to be popping in like with some force there. All right, so some of this I have to get back with the color, but again, like we go back and forth now. We really don't do things too much in orderly fashion. That's because it's more entertaining when we highlight. But yeah, I think we're there. So some of this too, I'm going to re-break that up too with the Sharpie. But all right, people. Wow, 2 hours. That time went by. Kind of productive today. Nice warm up. I'm going to hit Cosmo Cat and hopefully be back later streaming Cosmo Cat. Ifki, thanks for hanging out.